Okay, so apologies to those that have seen this bit of footage. We have two VE Commodores here. One has a sunroof, a factory sunroof. This one here, it's an SV6. It's only got about 46,000 Ks on it. My wife owns it, and it's a bit neglected, I must say. But whatever the case, the cabin filled up with water. And the first thing I thought of was it was coming in through the heater. There's the heater fan intake there behind that torch light. And the drain, there's a sort of a rubber boot type drain in that outer part there under the leaves and that sort of stuff. So I performed a water test on it. You can see here some of the water did get behind there a little bit, but not enough to cause any real issue. I wanted to avoid getting into the interior stuff, but I ended up having to pull it all apart and pull the carpet out because it was absolutely drenched. So it was a bit difficult to pull everything apart. These things don't have a console. You can see there all the water in the back. They don't have a console. You can just pull out. There's about 50 million bits holding everything together, and yeah, that's just the rear. Oddly enough, this car didn't smell. It smelled a little bit, I should say, but it wasn't overpowering. It wasn't like water ingress that I've experienced before, but it was necessary to take absolutely everything out of it and remove the carpet and dry it out. I had to wash it first and then dry it, and that took the better part of about 3 weeks inside, hanging over a couch to really dry out properly. So I had to do the ultimately dodgy thing and cut the carpet at the front underneath the console and pull everything out. Now, fortunately, these cars are galvanised, the shells are galvanised, so water ingress really isn't a problem as far as rust is concerned. But just the thickness in the underlay you can see there, and I was worried a little bit about all the wiring. You can see the wiring at the bottom left, right hand side of the screen, sorry, in the middle now. That's your airbag, your seat airbag wiring and all that sort of stuff. That red cable's your battery cable from the boot, and you can just see how soaked it is. Real mess, and a shame that it's sort of come to that because I don't know, mechanically the cars are really well looked after. It's just they do tend to get left outside. So struggling with it, you can see there, and it's just pouring out. I'm not sure, my leg might be in the way. Just pulling it out, it weighed a ton, absolute ton. You can see it there. That underlay is massively thick, and of course we've got a little swimming pool in the back. So that was just not an option. It had to be fixed, and you can see water's been getting in the right hand side as well. That's not rust, it's just dirty bits of underlay stuck to the sheet metal of the floor pan. But I had to sort of put the car together just with its seats in that state so Suzanne could drive the thing around. Nice. Right, we're back in here again. It rained last night and we got water coming from up there. And the headlining is damp. So obviously we've got a sunroof leak. So I've just poked. You see that dirt in there? I've just sort of poked. There's a hole. Let me see if it turns around. There's a hole in that corner. I have no idea if you can see it because I'm looking into the sun, but I'm going to pop some water in there. It drains away. There's only a very small amount of gutter room, particularly if you're parked on a slope. It's all going to come into this side. So that's like a 2-second fix. But gee, it makes a mess if you're not careful. Where's it coming out from? Under the car. Right, well, I've still got a sunroof leak, or at least I think it's a sunroof. We've got water coming in from behind here. Now, I pulled these trims off. There's the, hang on, I'll try and get a better view. I pulled those trims off thinking I'd find a tube down there, but what we've got is we've got the tube, that's the airbag there, the curtain airbag. We've got the tube running into these steel channels which would be made into every VE Commodore, and they're just little things with a bit of goop around them. And if you look at the angle of that, I'm wondering whether it's leaking out of there, which would be a stupid design. I don't know why they've done it like that, so I'm just going to pop some water in and see if I can figure out where it's coming in. I'm pretty sure that is the location there. And that would explain why it's running down the inside. And if I look, I've got a wet finger. That's the problem. Same on the other side, I'd imagine. That's very poor. Right, well, I've taken these two front tubes off and made other ones which are 5mm longer each, and sealed around here just with a neutral cure elastic, which is fine on metal. You don't use a CD cure. They're a bit tight on these, but They're a little bit longer, and they really shoehorn into that sort of steel funnel part which goes down to the to exit the vehicle. The rear ones aren't nearly as bad. There's a lot more of that sort of tube with the flared end that the rear one can sit in, so I just resealed around those as well. So hopefully that's it. Well, we've had lots of rain. Let's see if our little fixes worked. Hopefully there won't be bloody water in here, eh? Oh, hang on a second, I've got to do it twice. There we go. Whoops. Am I dry? Ooh, that is a win. That is good. Excellent. We'll just go around all the doors. We may have sorted it out. I'll go around the other side. There's a massive puddle and I'm in slippers, so great. Oh, this is going to suck. Hang on a minute. The problem with it was I couldn't work out. The car was parked over there and you can see it's leaning over, and I'd have thought that the passenger side, where's my finger? The passenger side would have been full of water, but the driver's side was, because this tube would have been on that sort of angle, which means the water would have come down off the sunroof and just leaked straight past here. So I think we've got a win. Please excuse my absolutely diabolical picture. Inside the A-pillar. The A-pillar is here with the roof, the turret, and the sunroof drain sort of trough thing is in there. These drains here are built into the car. I think they're in every model Commodore, I'm not sure. And the sunroof drains come in horizontally. And what I did is I pulled those black ones off and I made new ones, and I made them 5mm longer and really shoehorned them in with a bit of neutral curious elastic around the outside of it. That was the reason when it was up on an angle parked facing us this way, this side wasn't the problem, this one was, which you would think the water would bias down this side here, but this side was absolutely flooded because the water's coming in and then draining back outside itself, and it's running down the inside of the A-pillar. So that's why you can't see it. But if it's worth, if you've got a VE or VF Series 1 or 2 Commodore, unless they've changed them to VF, I'm not sure if they did or not, but on the VAs you want to look at that, because that's the problem. A very easy, simple fix, but the damage can be huge. What a beautiful day. We've got rain forecast. Still working on this, and we've had lots and lots of rain this week, and we're dry. So that's good. That's just some dirty spray underlay stuff. So we've got the seats out on the ground. Everything is bone dry, which I'm really happy about. I'm just worried about the weather. So I think we'll get the carpet and stick it in right now. We're all back together. We need a good clean, but I felt some rain coming up. So we're all back into one state. So it should be alright. Well, we'll just come back from a road test. Everything's good, everything's fine, nice and quiet. It's back the way it should be. It's just a terrible shame with these things. I think I mentioned before that the Holden spent $1 billion in R&D, and this thing's got 46,000 Ks on it, and it had a hell of a water leak from the sunroof drains, which I think is pretty poor. The other thing is, people always talk about the plastics in them they use. The interior, the quality of the interior materials aren't very good, but the rest of the car's absolutely lovely. I've got that SS there. Both cars we bought new. That is a gorgeous car. There's nothing I've driven that comes close to that on a country road. The manual's better. That's a manual car. It's just better with cruise control because it doesn't start going up and down gears with the, you know, when you see a hill and speeding up too much and that sort of stuff, you can sort of regulate it a bit better with that. But look, that's it for this one. I love the car, but haven't really enjoyed working on it, to be honest. Although it is very easy to pop back together. It sort of all clips back together, but we need to keep it a bit cleaner. Right, for those interested in the Honda 350 restoration and 750 restoration, I've got the rear rim back for the 750. The chroma annoyed me a bit, but his work is absolutely lovely. This is a 17-inch, not the 18, of course. I've just got to polish up the hub, relace it, and then it can go and get Trude and the tyre put on. And we've got the lovely 350 engine, of course. I had to change the camshaft in it. Gearbox bearings, everything was fine, but the engine bearings, chains, guide seals, everything were knackered. So I've got the big end bearings in. I've got the black ones. The Honda bearings are colour coded, and they all sort of come in half shells, if you know what I mean. So I've changed the big end ones, just waiting on the main ones, then we can get this whole bottom end together, because everything else I need is in that bag. Chains and tensioners and all sorts of stuff there. So, and once I've got that, I can have the whole bottom end back together, and so that's on the way too. So, with that said, hope you've enjoyed our little Commodore video. It's not normally the sort of video I do, but whatever the case, take good care of yourselves, drive safely, and I'll see you soon.